Welcome back to another tech video shot at the crack of dawn. I'm your host, Noah Herman, and I'm not getting any sleep tonight. Partly by choice, by the way. But anyway, I was sent the Pixel 4a. I am part of Team Pixel. This is a hashtag gift from Google. And even though it is, that doesn't mean I'm not going to objectively cover it. And the first thing I wanted to do with this brand new compelling budget smartphone is compare it to Apple's budget offering, the iPhone SE 2020. And without further ado, let's jump into this comparison here. But before we continue, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like, comment if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, as the YouTube algorithm likes that, and will help push my content to more people. And if you are a recurring viewer, please press the bell icon, as it does help the channel out a lot. So you'd think with design there'd be a clear winner here, but there really isn't, for two different reasons. One of these phones has a better overall look and the other one has better build quality. And I'm sure you can guess which is which here. The iPhone SE, to start out with, has an outdated design. This is basically the iPhone 6 or the iPhone 8. These bezels, just like 2014 called, they want their bezels back, you know what I'm saying? But the build quality is just great. You got aluminum here, you got glass, and it's overall really clean and it feels like a premium product, even though it looks outdated, it looks old. Whereas the Pixel 4a looks fantastic from the front. You have this great full screen display. It's a wider or fuller aspect ratio. You have a hole punch. Like, this is 2020. This is clearly 2019 at least. You know, this is a new looking phone. However, the build quality, it isn't exactly lacking, but it's not the same. It's made out of plastic, and that's fine. It's cheaper feeling, but yeah, this looks better, feels a bit cheaper. This looks older, but feels more expensive, and I'm dropping these phones here like a real professional. And let's just admire the backs of these phones here. They both look clean, I have to say. Even though the materials are different here, you have clean logos, you have a fingerprint sensor on the back here, which is barely like visible. If you ask me, it's sort of like a little divot. And then the cameras look nice on here as well. This seems a little extra, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm sure they crammed tech into this little space on the Pixel 4a, but it looks nice. And then you have a clean iPhone 8-ish looking setup on here as well. And something I'll also note is this little mint green power button. This phone only comes in one color, but you do get this little accent piece right here, which is just a staple of Google Pixel phones. As for the I/O, of course, you get Lightning, which is a legacy port with the iPhone SE, soon to be replaced with USB Type-C, hopefully in 2020. And then we get USB Type-C with the Pixel 4a. So this definitely has more versatility with newer accessories. As for the speaker quality, I think both have fantastic stereo setups. However, I do believe the 4a has a bit of an edge here. The sound just sounds fuller to me, and I'll just do a little demo here to give you an idea. Yeah, it just sounds like there's something more there, you know what I mean? Like more substance to the sound. I don't know, you know, I'm not an audiophile, so I don't have the right terms, but maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't, but yeah, I think the Pixel 4a wins in that category. Another audio difference is the lack of and the presence of a headphone jack. We got one with the Pixel 4a and none on the iPhone SE. So you do get decent in-box headphones with the iPhone. However, you have more versatility with the 3.5mm jack on the Pixel 4a. And finally, let's talk biometrics here. With the iPhone, you have a front-facing home button fingerprint scanner, Touch ID 2.0, very quick, and then with the Pixel 4a, you have a back-facing fingerprint scanner. It's also very quick to unlock and set up as well. So in terms of speed and accuracy, both are fantastic. However, I do like the fingerprint sensor on here a bit more, because I don't know, like I don't have to do like a shimmy to get my thumb down here, like, and my finger is already resting here. But I will say, though, with the iPhone, when it is resting on a table, the ability to just, you know, tap like this and unlock is nice. That's not something you can do here with the Pixel. You're going to have to type in your PIN normally. You should be dancing, yeah! Next up, let's talk displays, and this is not a negotiable category. Like, this isn't even a contest. We already know which phone wins. It's the iPhone SE. Just kidding. It's the Pixel 4a with this giant, at least comparatively, 5.8-inch OLED display here compared to the 4.7-inch IPS thing that we get with the iPhone. I was about to say 8, the iPhone SE. It's basically an iPhone 8 screen. It's basically an iPhone 6 screen with, with True Tone. So, I mean, yeah, this is not a bad display. but it pales in comparison to what you're getting here. I love the size of this phone. It has a great form factor. It's very much like my personal daily driver, the iPhone 11 Pro. It has a PPI of like 440 compared to like 326 that you get with the iPhone. And not only is it great in the UI and displays, you know, more than that of the iPhone, it's great for video as well. And again, you get a hole punch display, which, you know, makes this phone look more futuristic. The one grace that the iPhone's display has is True Tone. I enjoyed the fact that this display is color accurate in pretty much any environment. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to watching movies and content and whatever, I mean, the Pixel 4a wins, even with 16:9 content, which the iPhone displays natively. But yeah, once again, there's no contest. The aspect ratio, FHD Plus and OLED outdo an IPS HD-ish 16:9 display any day of the week. Next up, let's quickly talk battery life here, and I will say both are going to get you through the day, no problem. When I was using the iPhone SE, I had no problem not having my phone die on me, for example, but, you know, it's not the biggest capacity. This has like an 1800 milliamp hour battery, and it has a powerful processor, so you're going to want to plug in if you are using it more heavily. And something that I noticed about the Pixel is that with its OLED display and its presumably lower powered Snapdragon 730 processor, and not only that, a bigger 3100 milliamp hour battery, yeah, it does perform better after about like 2 hours of screen on time, like video playback and some casual usage. I was at 84% with my Pixel 4a, and then my iPhone had like 69%. So there's definitely a bit of a difference there, a 15% difference. So yeah, apparently, the Pixel 4a with its bigger battery, performs better here. But once again, you're going to be able to get through the day, no problem with both. But something I will note is that the iPhone has wireless charging, which is really great if you have something next to your bed, so you can just roll over and just, you know, plop your phone down to charge. But something that the Pixel 4a does better, beyond just having better screen on time, is fast charging. While your iPhone SE can fast charge, Apple phones tend to sort of power sip, or excuse me, like charge trickle, if you know what I mean, if I'm saying that right. Basically, they might charge quickly from like 0 to 60%, but when it goes from 60 to 100, it gets slower. This, I mean, charged real quick. I was at like 70%, and I plugged this in for 20 minutes, and it was back up at 100. So yeah, fast charging is definitely great with here. So yeah, at the end of the day, you're going to get better screen on time with the Pixel 4a, but decent enough battery life with the iPhone SE plus wireless charging. Next up, let's talk about camera quality or performance. We have similar hardware on the back here, a 12 megapixel single sensor with the SE and a 12.2 megapixel sensor with the Pixel 4a, and singular flashes here as well. And then on the front here, we have a 7 megapixel front-facing camera with the SE and an 8 megapixel hole punch front-facing camera with the Pixel 4a. That is quite a bit wider, by the way, as you can see here. But to actually touch on image quality here, there are some situations where I think iPhone might look a little bit sharper or a little bit more natural, but I have to tell you, the Pixel 4a does not disappoint. It is a Pixel in every sense of the word, and for example, with portrait mode, it just kills it. I mean, with the iPhone SE, you have to have a face involved, but with the Pixel, of course, they have their AI and their algorithm doing its magic, so you get really crispy bokeh on here, even though it's totally fake. And yeah, you just get really crispy, nice looking photos out of both of these phones. You get cooler colors with the Pixel 4a, a bit warmer colors with the iPhone SE. Dynamic range seems better with the Pixel 4a as well. As you can see here with the iPhone, you get a pretty dark looking brick wall here against the sky, but with the Pixel, you just get a whole nuanced image with all this value, which just looks amazing. Something I also noticed is that the autofocus seems to be a bit better with the Pixel 4a here. For example, with this picture of this leaf, I was able to rack focus or get this leaf in focus quicker than that of my iPhone. But yeah, both of these images came out very nice looking, as you can see here. The same concepts apply here with front-facing photography with these phones here, but one thing you have to notice, or will notice, is that the Pixel 4a takes a much wider image, so you'll be able to get more people in the shot. And something else I want to note, or an opinion that I want to share, is that I think that the front-facing bokeh effect with the iPhone SE just looks a bit more natural. I don't know, especially around my glasses, it looks a little bit less choppy, whereas with the Pixel, it does seem to have sort of a sharp edge, especially around like my glasses, for example. But both look, oh, like see, like next to the hat here, like yeah, that seems kind of jagged. If we look over here with the iPhone, that's not very present, but I have to say both look really great here. And as I said before, the portrait effect with the back-facing camera is superior in my opinion, especially because it can be applied to just objects in general and not just faces. Shooting video is a bit of a different story, though, I will say. With the front cameras, it is actually kind of a similar story. You both can shoot HD 30 with these cameras here, so not a difference in resolution or frame rate here. However, overall, I will say from just my previous experience and from my current experience, image quality with iPhone, with video at least, is usually actually better, I believe. Better image stabilization, especially with the back-facing camera here. And not only that, you get 4K 60 video, not just 4K 30 video like you get with the Pixel 4a here. And that's because I believe the A13 is just more powerful and can accommodate that, whereas the 730 might not be able to support that, or maybe Google just didn't feel like doing that also. And I believe the Pixel 4a does not optically stabilize video. Instead, it uses a gyro EIS system, whereas the iPhone SE has optically stabilized video, and it does show. It looks a lot more smooth, especially with 60 FPS at 4K. So yeah, in my opinion, hands down video quality does go to the iPhone. However, Pixel does put up a great fight, and you can see a lot of the positive Pixel image quality aspects shining through, like the dynamic range and sharpness and color. But yeah, iPhone wins video quality, and I would say for the most part, probably 70% of the time, Pixel 4a wins photo quality. And finally, let's talk performance. And just like with display, this analysis is pretty simple, or it didn't take me too long to draw my conclusion here. While the Pixel 4a pushes a very smooth stock Android experience with the Snapdragon 730 and 6 gigs of RAM, the iPhone SE, let's just admit it, is a beast with the A13 here. I mean, it's the top of the line processor right now. It's in the iPhone 11 Pro, it's in the iPhone 11, and yeah, it just screams. It's like up there with some laptop processors. But that's not to say that the experience with the Pixel 4a is bad or anything. It's very smooth. Apps open very quickly. Things are very well optimized. You have to keep in mind this is a stock Android phone. This is as bare bones as it gets. But yeah, it just doesn't feel as snappy as the A13 does with iOS here. And of course, Apple really optimizes the hell out of iOS to run on its own hardware here. So yeah, while the Pixel 4a offers a smooth experience, the iPhone SE offers a buttery experience. I mean, everything is smooth. I rarely see any hiccups or lagging. I mean, and it should be. This is the top of the line processor in here, where once again with the Pixel 4a, while it is fairly smooth, you're going to experience little bumps and things along the way, if you know what I mean, but that's just the reality when you have a lower end Snapdragon processor. This is no Snapdragon 845, or excuse me, 865 now. I'm like 2 years in the past. So yeah, you get decent performance, whereas you get beastly performance with the iPhone SE, and it does translate into games as well. And I know you guys are going to want a gaming test, so I'm going to test out two games on these phones, Minecraft and PUBG, in a minute here. So let's create a creative world in Minecraft first with both these phones. We'll see which one loads faster. Proceed. It's funny, actually, both of them rendered pretty much at the same time here, although the A13 is a much more powerful processor. But let's see how the frame rate is with both of these phones here. Some lag here and there, though, I will say. Let's just look around. Yeah, let's go back on the ground here. So, pretty decent experience, very smooth, I would say. Now let's try the Pixel 4a. Oh, wow, that rhymed. And yeah, we're getting decent frames here. You don't need top-of-the-line performance to actually have a decent gaming experience, but I find when you're flying around, it is a bit more laggy. Maybe I'm not looking correctly. I don't know. You tell me, but I will say overall, the gaming experience, at least within Minecraft, looks pretty similar. I mean, you don't need to buy, once again, the A13 to play this game. It's definitely playable with lower to mid-range processors, and I'm very impressed with how the Pixel 4a is doing. But I do believe the iPhone SE is just a bit more smooth. But that's just me. You let me know if I'm wrong. And you know what? I just realized I don't have PUBG installed on my SE, but I do have a clip of me playing it when I did a gaming test with this phone. And of course, it was really great, really smooth. I could get, really awesome frame rates with high settings here. But let's test it out with the Pixel 4a here with the lower end 730 processor. So I'll open that up wherever this is. Here we go. And we will play as a guest, and I'll try not to suck. So here we are in the plane. It's very smooth here. Not the smoothest experience I've ever had playing this game, but it's definitely nice, like totally playable, by the way. And that's the beauty of, Google optimizing this phone to run on a mid-range processor. So we are falling towards this house, and I will deploy my parachute. We have teammate over here. Oh, hello. Yeah, I got you. That is correct. One shot. Yeah, this is PUBG, guys. This is the experience. It is decent. It is playable. I was actually playing this earlier today, and I got enveloped in the game. I didn't have any problem playing it. And yes, while it may be more smooth on my SE or on a device with a much more powerful SoC with a more powerful GPU, gaming on here, not bad at all. Not bad in the slightest. And I want to use this full auto gun here, even if I don't shoot anybody. Let me just, oh, I jumped out the window. Cool. Maybe let's look for somebody else. I don't know. See, I don't want to wait, so I'm just gonna aim and just shoot this wall. Yep. And there you go. That's PUBG. It's a great experience. So yeah, I would say gaming, while it's not the most ideal with this phone, it's definitely possible. But if you are more of a mobile gamer, you might want to opt for the SE if you want to do more demanding games. But I will tell you, the bigger display on here with the Pixel 4a does make the gaming experience nicer. And if you're playing just a 2D title or something pretty basic, then maybe I'd get this over the SE. And here's something I forgot to say, and I'm recording this on my iPad Pro because I'm an idiot. This phone has a base storage of 64 gigs. This phone has a base storage of 128. UFS 2, and this is like NVMe, but regardless here, you get half the storage for more money versus, you know, twice the storage for $50 to $100 less, depending if you buy this phone locked or unlocked. So that's something to consider here. You have more storage for photos and videos and content. So what is my conclusion, people? Well, I don't think there is a clear-cut winner here. Both of these phones have their strengths and weaknesses, and all I can tell you is if you want a phone that has better build materials, better video quality, and a superior SoC, the iPhone SE 2020 is for you, and you have to spend a little bit more. This phone goes for $399 unlocked, whereas the Pixel 4a is for somebody who lacks some of the change required to buy this phone. This goes for $299 locked from Best Buy, I saw, and $349 unlocked from Google or really any, you know, store or outlet or carrier. And it's for somebody who wants an OLED display, a great display for that matter, something full screen and modern with better speakers, really awesome image or photo quality, and a more than adequate stock Android experience. Of course, if you're somebody who likes Android better, you're going to want to opt for this phone anyway. Not to mention, this phone has better battery life once again. And that about wraps things up here. I hope this video helped you out. Once again, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe for more content like this. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.